How y'all doing, good people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video, every time I start a new live stream. So please do that big favor for me. Just hit that notification bell so that YouTube can let you know when I'm live or when I just upload a regular schmegular video. So do that big favor for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, if you want to follow me when I'm not on YouTube, get down to the description box. Click on that Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor Instagram link. Give me a follow on Instagram. I'm doing a lot of stuff on Instagram that, don't really hit the YouTube channel. Why? Because there's little short 60-second videos, right? I was out yesterday gallivanting around in the new Urus and went to a couple dealerships and took a look at some cars. And one of those cars I really like. I actually did a little 60-second reel and put it on the Instagram page. So I know a lot of you folks who rock with me from the seed way back. I'm talking about way back when I was doing the car videos on my YouTube channel. And that's how I started this YouTube channel back in 2015. Late 2015, I started this YouTube channel really as a car channel to kind of just share my cars with the world. And a lot of you have followed me that long. And then of course I turned the channel into a financial channel. In like 2019, I transitioned the YouTube channel into a financial channel. So I stopped really talking about the cars and I just focused on building wealth. So a lot of you guys have followed me from the early days. So, hey, I know I don't post a lot of content about the cars on the YouTube channel anymore. Every now and then I'll throw one up if I get something special, but I don't focus on it daily. I focus on, financial literacy and getting people to wealth. But on the Instagram page, I will be focusing more on the cars. So if you want to follow me and get a little bit of, behind the scenes of the things that I do when I'm not on YouTube, please follow me on Instagram. Like I said, it's a link down in the description box, Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor Instagram page. Give me a follow and then send me a DM and let me know you're rocking with me and so I can thank you. www.richardfain.net is the website address, guys. Second link down in the description box. Over 200,000 of you guys have already went and checked out the website, and a lot of you guys have purchased digital products to help you get to your financial freedom, help you get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Handpicked by me, those products. So hey, check them out, guys. Listen, I got a digital product on my website for people that want to start an online business. Now, some of you will remember last night, I had a live stream and we talked about 10 ways to get to your financial freedom. And one of those ways was doing what? Having multiple streams of income. One of the 10 ways to get to financial freedom is through developing multiple streams of income. That particular ebook on my website will help you understand how to start an online business. So therefore, when people send me emails, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? I'm gonna point you back to the website because that's where the step-by-step is, guys. Now, if you're not willing to pay the $15.99 or $19.99, whatever it is, if you're not willing to invest that in yourself, why in the world am I gonna spend an hour trying to send you detailed emails of how to do it? It just don't make no sense. If you wanna start an online business, go to the website and buy the product and it'll tell you what to do. I can't recreate the wheel for you through email. So all I'm telling you, if you wanna get to wealth and you're not happy with your primary income, that you're getting from your job, that you're getting from your business. If you're not happy with that, if that's not enough, go to the website and get the dang on product. And it'll tell you step by step what to do. Now, once you do that and you go through it and you still have some questions, get yourself over to the mentorship club, join the mentorship club, and then send me a direct message. Richard, hey, I got the outline, but I know you talked about luxury watch sales. I know you talked about your eBay stores. I know you talked about Etsy stores. I got a few additional questions that I just need to iron out so I can get going on this thing. Then that's the appropriate time, guys, honestly, to send me a direct message through my private mentorship club. Number one, you need to be joined in on the private mentorship club in order to have access to me to ask me those questions. Now, guys, I'm not trying to sit here and act like I'm some guru, because I'm not. But guys, listen, I've done this. I flipped watches for 15 years. I have a process. And that watch flipping process is the same process for any online business you start, especially if you're selling stuff. If you're buying stuff wholesale and trying to sell it retail, it's the same process. But it starts with you getting the fundamentals through the ebook on the website. That's the fundamentals, guys. And then if you want to get more fine detail, more intricate details, that's the conversation then you want to have with me. But the conversation is, how do I start an online business? That ain't the conversation I'm going to have with you guys, because I got an ebook on my website that walks you through that. And if you don't have $15.99 or $19.99 or whatever it costs to buy that ebook to have in your materials that you're going to need to build this thing out, then guys, we got to do something to have $15.99 or $19.99. That's the reason we're talking about these 4 stocks today. These are the early stages. You can get in on these companies, and if they go to $1 trillion in value, guess what? You ain't got to never worry about nothing else. So all I'm telling you, if you're not happy with your income, it ain't enough. I had a gentleman this morning from the private mentorship club. He sent me an email, must have been yesterday, but man, I went through so many emails yesterday, I had to just shut the thing off and go to bed, right? So I got up this morning and I said, well, let me get caught up on all my direct messages. That's kind of what I do in the mornings before I get the live stream going. And one of them was, he had a whole list of things, guys. I'm talking about 10 things. And you know something? I went through all 10 of them, answered him, and I'm waiting on his replies. Why? Because he made a commitment to me too. His commitment is, Richard, I'm gonna join this private mentorship club and I'm gonna be involved in the community chat. I'm gonna be involved, I'm gonna participate, but I need you to do your part like you said you would. And guess what? That's what I'm doing with him. Whatever questions he asked, and I got the ability to answer, I'm gonna answer them. But guys, he made the commitment. And this is my point with us. If you want information from people like myself or others out there who you believe can help you collapse time frames and get to that pot of gold, do it. You sitting over here lukewarm, straddling the fence. Well, I don't know. Listen, I don't have time for that. All I got time for people that want to get all in and get to this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's it. So if you're not happy with your income, guys, and you want to start an online business, go to my website and buy that online business, how to start an online business ebook. Go through that thing. It's going to give you step by step, because I already went through it, because I handpicked them. So I know what's in there. But a lot of people don't want that. They don't want to take the time. They want to be spoon fed, and I'm not in the spoon feeding business. I'm not into giving you a fish business. I'm into teach you how to fish business. Because I don't need you dependent on me, and I don't need to be dependent on you. What you need to do is learn this skill and go get it. That's it. So we got to get crystal clear on that. And hopefully I'm not hurting some of y'all's feelings, because that's not my point here. My point is listen, guys, if we're going to take advantage of this golden era, this next 10 years, if we're going to take advantage of this, we got to be self-sufficient. That doesn't mean we don't need help. We don't need a community of people around us, but we gotta be self-sufficient. And there's no reason every one of you who want to start an online business shouldn't have one. You should. There's no reason, but you got to get the fundamentals to set the thing up and then get around people can help you build it. Right? Okay, let's keep moving. All right, website, y'all know where it's at, www.richardfain.net. Guys, go take a look. Please take a look. Please do that. Do that for me, do it for yourself, do it for your freedom, all right? And then join the private mentorship club. That's the only place I'm mentoring. Now, some of you say, hey, Richard, I don't need your mentorship. Perfect. That's okay. Watch the YouTube videos, execute. Everybody can do that. Watch the YouTube videos, take what you need and go execute to wealth. Perfect. That's your primary way to get to wealth. Take this information that I'm giving you, throw back what you don't need, what you do keep, execute on it, and just keep doing that month in, month out, year out till you reach your financial goals. Some of you are going to say, Richard, I'm going to do that, but I also need some extra. I need extra help, right? I want to be around more people. I want help. Then guess what? Make that commitment to get over to the private mentorship club. That's where the help is. 700 plus people are over there from every walk of life, every nationality, many different countries, different levels of financial literacy, different levels of investment experience, different levels of wealth building. They're there. They're there to help you. Leverage it. Leverage their help. I keep telling y'all guys, this is the key. This is how you get there. You got to just follow the blueprint. Leverage their help. Don't try to do it by yourself. You don't have to, but you got to make a commitment to join the private mentorship club. So please consider that today. Get over there, get involved, get activated, get some financial love for yourself, get people that can help you. And then if you need me specifically, all you got to do is direct message me. I'm there every single day. I can be answering your questions that you have every single day. All right, let's move on. Moo. These 4 companies that we're going to talk about today, you got to have a brokerage account, guys. And the brokerage account that I use is Moo. That's my primary brokerage account. Link is down in the description box. The good folks at Moo are going to give you up to 15 free stocks when you open up their new Moo brokerage account. They're going to give you up to 15 free stocks. You do a $100 initial deposit that qualifies you for 5 free stocks. You do a $1,000 initial deposit that qualifies you for 15 free stocks. You got to have a brokerage account that you know how to use, guys, in order to take advantage of these 4 companies and any other companies and any other ETFs. You got to have a brokerage account that you know how to use. The simplest thing to do is get down to the description box, click on the Moo link, sign up, put your $100 in there, put your $1,000 in there, get your free stock, and then send me an email through my website, www.richardfain.net. Send me an email and say, Richard, I opened up my Moo account. I funded it. I need those tutorial videos so that I can learn how to use this brokerage app so I can start buying these companies I'm going to discuss today or not. You can also going to get my wealth transfer blueprint 1.0, 2.0, which will walk you through all of the stocks I'm buying, all of the ETFs I'm buying, and I tell you why. So you can copy that plan. You can create your own plan. It's up to you, but you'll know how to use this brokerage app and you'll know how to buy stocks, individual stocks and ETFs. Plus you'll have all my information letting you know what I'm buying. Right? So that's all you got to do. Sign up for Moo. Link down in the description box. Don't delay. Act today. What are you waiting on? We're in a 10-year golden era where going to be so many people get wealthy. So many people get rich. So many, guys. Plenty. I had another. I'm telling you guys, every day I get these messages, man, through my private mentorship club. People are joining like crazy, right? Why? Because they understand community. They understand wrapping themselves up in a community of people that got their best interest at heart. Nobody wants to be out here in the wilderness by themselves in the matrix. Nobody wants to be in the matrix, guys. You do not want to be in the matrix. It feels good at first. The matrix feels great because you start making this money. The matrix tells you to go buy new cars, go buy new jewelry, go ahead and take trips. You deserve it. Life's too short. See, this is what the matrix tells you. But what they don't tell you is as life happens, things happen. And if you ain't got no safety net, no money, no assets, you're gonna be in trouble. Big trouble. Matrix don't tell you that. All they tell you is live for today, don't worry about tomorrow. See, that's what the matrix tells you. Why? Because they have a vested interest in you being broke. The only way they can control you and manipulate you is if you're broke. They cannot control you and manipulate you if you have assets. See, over here, you're dependent. Get over here and be independent. So, gentleman emails me, young cat. He emailed me this, well, I don't know when he emailed me. He probably direct messaged me last night, but I got it this morning. So he said, I'm 24. Just got out of college not too long ago. And engineer too. Great job, making good money for a 24-year-old. I wish I was making that kind of money when I was 24. Making great money. Guess what he said though? Just like I told y'all yesterday, I keep telling y'all guys, I done been through this. I'm in here researching all the time. I'm talking to hundreds and hundreds of people every day, guys, because of this YouTube channel. See, this YouTube channel gives me access to people all around the world. I'm talking about 4.5 billion people who have access to the internet can get on YouTube, find a guy like me, and email me or direct message me or whatever they do. Find me on Instagram, right? So he was like, I'm 24 years, and then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes. I promise you guys. We're going to get into the meat and potatoes. Hang in. I know some of y'all short fuse and will be zapped out of here in a second. Oh, here this guy go again. He's not going to get to the 4 stocks until 30 minutes into the live stream. I'm out of here. That's fine. If you want to leave, leave. So 24, he sent me this direct message. He said, listen, great job, great education, but I'm miserable at work. It's messing with my mental. He's 24. He just started. He's 24. I told y'all yesterday, this new age of investor, these folks these people don't want to work for 25 years. And I told him, I ain't mad at you, but here's what we do. You ain't got to work for 25 years. Follow the blueprint. And you'll get out of that. See, you'll skip that. See, I had to go to work for 25 years because nobody showed me nothing. I didn't know no better. This is what we did at my age, and my parents and their parents, this is what we did. We went to work. We didn't know nothing about building no wealth. We didn't know about investing in companies like that could be $1 trillion company. And as they grow, my wealth grows and it collapsed time frames and I ain't got to work no 25. Didn't know that. But this little 24-year-old, he knows it. So he said, hey, I'm not going to be doing this for the rest. He said, I got to get to my wealth right now. I love that. This is the conversation I'm having with him, right? So guess what? He said, hey, he had some questions for me. Boom. I gave him some answers back, and he and I will have a dialogue until he's comfortable. And he's in the private mentorship club, 24 years old, ready. Do not want to work for the rest of his life. He does not want to put in 20 years working for somebody, even though he's an engineer, he's going to make good money. He knows that's the matrix talking. See, the matrix says, hey man, you're 24. By the time you're 44, maybe you're a senior VP. That's what the matrix tell you, see. That's how they trap you for 20 years. That's how they trapped me for 25. Now, don't get me wrong. I knew I was being trapped and I knew I was in the matrix, but I was smart enough to know, invest in real estate, invest in the stock market. At one day, Richard, you're going to get out of the matrix. So I was smart enough to figure that out. But he didn't figure it out way before me. He was like, I'm not gonna be in this matrix till I'm 44. I don't even want to be in this matrix at 34. I'm ready to get mine right now. So Richard, talk to me about these side hustles. Here's what I'm gonna be doing. This is what I'm telling you guys. You do not have to stay in this matrix. Things like this can get you out, but you need a brokerage account. So get down to that description box, click on that Moo link, open up that Moo account today. If you're tired of being in the matrix, I don't care if you're 18 years old to 80 years old. There are people in the matrix. I told y'all they start you at kindergarten. 5 years old, they introduce you to the matrix, 5 years old. And most people will stay in the matrix until they leave this place. Never get out of the matrix. Never. So all I'm telling you is if you want to get out of the matrix, 18 to 80 years old, it doesn't matter. Get down to that description box, click on that Moo link, open up that Moo account today, and then send me an email. Richard, I'm done. I've opened my Moo account. I put my money in there. What's the next step? And then I'm gonna send you those tutorial videos, and then I'm gonna send you the blueprints, and then all you gotta do then is join the private mentorship club and get around these 700 plus people who are headed in the same direction as you. See, that's the blueprint, guys. The blueprint is get your account open, figure out what you want to invest in, make the commitment that you're going to invest in that whatever you're investing in, 3, 5, 7, 10 years, make that commitment mentally, right? Make that commitment mentally, and then get yourself around people that's going to continue to feed you and encourage you to do that. But if you make that mental commitment and you're out here in the matrix, guess what they're going to be telling you in the matrix? You're stupid. Why you denying yourself a new car? Why you denying yourself a big old house? Why you denying yourself nice trips? Why you denying yourself jewelry? Why you denying yourself hanging out at happy hours and doing all this stuff with your money? Why you denying yourself that? See, that's what they're going to tell you in the matrix. They're not going to tell you that in the mentorship club, because they're going to be telling you, I'm chasing mine too. I'm giving up stuff. I'm delaying gratification because I know what's at the end of that rainbow means more to me than this stuff. But you got to wrap yourself around people that will help you with that. Well, all right, let's dive in to these 4 companies. So here's the thing, guys. Here's what we want to do. We want to find companies. We want to find mature companies, right? And then we want to have, see, so this is the tier I look at it. So all publicly traded, right? But I want to have emerging companies, right? They're just starting to grow. They ain't fully there yet, but they're just starting to. I call them emerging companies. And then I got these companies that are in the middle, right? They're in the middle. And then I got these companies that are behemoths. So these emerging companies are going to be under 100 million. I'm sorry, yeah, 100 billion. They're going to be under 100 billion with a B. So these emerging companies are going to be under $100 billion, but got the potential to be 1 trillion plus. That's an emerging company. And then you got these companies that are in the middle. They're about 300 billion. So they understand where they're going and they're working their way, right? So you got these companies that are in that 300 billion range. And then you got these big boys, over $1 trillion. I'm talking about big boys. Your Apples of the world, your Nvidias of the world, your Microsofts of the world, your Amazons of the world, your Alphabets of the world, your Metas. These are the big boy companies that are over $1 trillion in market cap. Today, we're going to talk about some companies that are emerging. They're under 100 billion in market cap, but they have the potential to be $1 trillion companies with a T. These are the companies, guys, you want to be able to put in the portfolio and take that ride with them. Now, don't get me wrong. You also want to have your middle tier and your big boys too. So I want to have big boys And in my portfolio, the big boys, I got in the Magnificent Seven. Those are big boys. So I got the big boy stocks because why? They grow faster than the market right now. Put my money in Nvidia 2 years from now, who knows? Double my net worth. That's how fast they grow. I need them in the portfolio. Those are my main bread and butter, the big boys, like Nvidia, because I can put money in that thing and it'll go up 100, 150, $200 a share in the blink of an eye. That's the growth I need. But I also want some of these emerging guys, because I want some emerging guys who clawing their way trying to get to that trillion. They're going to do whatever they need to do to get to that $1 trillion mark. I want a part of them in the portfolio too. So as I go through this, I'm thinking about these guys too, because all I got right now are big boy heavyweights. That's all I got right now. Big boy heavyweights, Mag 7 type guys in companies. But I want some of these emerging guys who are under 100 billion. My goodness, think about it. If I can get into one of these guys under 100 billion, and they can, in the next 5, 10, 15 years, they can go to $1 billion. Look at all that growth I've captured that I can pass on to my kids, right? Look at all that growth. So we need them too. We need them too. So let's go through. Here's the headline. 4 sub 100 billion hyper growth stocks. Keyword is hyper growth. That means fast. So hyper growth stocks that can join Nvidia, Apple, and Microsoft as $1 trillion companies. I love that. That piqued my interest. That piqued my interest, right? So here we go. Let's think about these guys. 4 high octane growth stocks with well-defined catalysts and competitive advantages have a clear path to reach $1 trillion valuation in the next 15 years. Now, some of y'all might say, oh, 15, listen, remember now, you already got the big boys. At least I hope you got the big boys. So you're hanging your hat on the big boys. Really, these emerging guys are me just throwing out, okay, let me put some money at this, and if it catch, it catch. I'm not hanging my hat on these 4. Not that you can't. I'm just not hanging my hat on them. What I'm hanging my hat on, really the collapse time frames and get me to the wealth level I need, are going to be my big boys. That's going to be my Nvidias of the world. That's going to be my Mag 7s of the world, right? That's going to be those guys. And then I'm going to throw in Broadcom. Y'all know tomorrow, Broadcom stock is going to be divided by 10. Whatever it closed at on Friday, which I don't know what it is, but whatever it closed at on Friday, it'll be divided by 10 starting tomorrow. Broadcom is about $900 billion company. But some people think it could be a $2 trillion company. It could be a $3 trillion company. So that's another one. And where do I put that? Where do I put that one? Broadcom, in that middle category. It's past emerging. It's in the middle. See, I keep you in the middle till you hit 1 trillion. Then you get to the big boys level. You got a lot of great companies in America that ain't $1 trillion valuation, guys. Walmart is not $1 trillion valuation. JP Morgan Chase is not $1 trillion value, a market value. A lot of companies are not. So you got a lot of companies in that middle trying to get there. Walmart would love to be a $1 trillion valuation, but they're not. Don't get me wrong, they make a lot of revenue and obviously they're crazy profitable, but they're not $1 trillion yet. They're about close to 600 billion with a B. So to get to $1 trillion, guys, you got to be extraordinary. You got to do something more than just, listen, Broadcom, 10 to 1 tomorrow morning. Put it on your short list. We're not going to discuss them today, but they're 10 to 1 tomorrow morning. I'm telling you, could be something special. I'm buying some, and I've been telling y'all this for weeks that I was buying Broadcom. So tomorrow, I'll be locked and loaded, and let's see what I want to do. Now, it won't be a big position like I got in Nvidia, because they're not Nvidia. I don't care what nobody says, in my opinion, they're not Nvidia. But if I had to pick a second tier, I'd have to go with Broadcom. If I got to pick a second one, definitely not going to beat Nvidia, but if I got to pick a second one, Broadcom. So I am going to hedge a little bit. My position in Nvidia, I'm going to hedge it with Broadcom. Put that on your short list for tomorrow morning. They go 10-to-1 split. Let's see what the market says about them when they open up tomorrow. I'll be watching it. Matter of fact, I'll report on that on Monday. In the Monday morning live stream, we'll have a conversation about Broadcom and what it's doing as the market opens where it's 10-to-1. So here we go. Since Wall Street's major stock indexes bottomed out in October 2022, the floodgates have been wide open for optimists. The mature stock-driven Dow Industrial Average benchmark, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ have all skyrocketed to record closing highs this year. However, the Magnificent Seven deserve most of the credit for lifting Wall Street to new heights. Guys, I'm telling you now, I'm no expert here, right? I'm not a trained Wall Street guy. I'm not a trained CFP. I'm not a financial advisor, none of that stuff. But I'm telling you guys, if you don't got the Magnificent Seven in that portfolio, I don't know what y'all doing. If you don't recognize now who's driving this whole thing, if you don't recognize now who's driving this supersonic train, if you don't recognize right now who is in the driver's seat of this huge rocket ship, I don't know what you've been doing. The Magnificent Seven is driving all of this stuff, guys. And if you're not invested in them and you're missing out on this wealth, I don't know what you're doing. Look at the S&P, look at the NAS. Those 7 companies are driving this thing, sprinkled in with the rest of it. Okay, let's keep moving. However, the Magnificent Seven deserve most of the credit for lifting Wall Street to new heights. All 7 members of the Magnificent Seven, which includes artificial intelligence behemoth Nvidia, tech juggernaut Apple, and software giant Microsoft, currently sport once obtained a $1 trillion market cap. So you got artificial intelligence behemoth Nvidia, you got tech juggernaut Apple, and then Microsoft on the software side. What do you think these guys' market caps are? All 3 of them have $3 trillion market caps, the 3 largest companies in the world. Why wouldn't you be invested in the 3 largest companies in the world? I mean, how could you not be invested in the 3 largest companies in the world? I mean, if you go look at these guys' balance sheets, if you go look at the balance sheet, you will see how flushed with cash these companies are and how very little debt they have, guys. I can't understand why someone wouldn't be invested in these companies. I don't know, but that's just me. That's just me. Like I said, I'm not a trained financial advisor, so maybe y'all got a trained one that tells you this ain't the right time. Their growth has already happened. They're old news. I love when people say that. I love it. I love when I hear people say, oh yeah, you missed their growth spurt. They're not, don't you know all 3 of these companies at some point are gonna be $4, $5, $6 trillion companies? Don't you understand who's driving this whole thing right now, guys? These companies. Do you understand that a company like Meta last week, Matter of fact, on July 5th, it was trading at about $540 a share. There was some market behavior that happened, and the stock last week fell down to under $500 a share. I think on Friday it closed at $498. Can't you understand that this company has over 2.5 billion with a B users on its platforms? You know that temporary decline in the stock price is an opportunity to build wealth. Now they go back to full price next week and the week after, they'll go back to full price. So anybody out there that's looking for some net worth gain, you gotta put Meta on the short list. When Monday morning opens up, I would be ready to look at Meta and see if it's an opportunity for me, along with Broadcom, those two. All right, let's keep moving. Professional and everyday investors are captivated with finding the next company or set of companies that can join this exclusive trillion-dollar club. While nothing is set in stone, 4 high-growth companies with perceived to be sustained competitive advantages and current market valuations of less than 100 billion have the necessary tools and intangibles to become trillion-dollar businesses and join the likes of Nvidia, Apple, and Microsoft. The first one, guys, and I've been hearing a lot about this company. I know a lot of the people over in my private mentorship club like this company. It has not been on my radar because, you know, I'm just big boy blue chip. I'm big boy. $1 trillion valuation and up. Those are the company that I invested in, right? But I've heard people, I've seen people in the private mentorship club talking about this company, and they're very excited about it. So, okay, let's take a look at them. Palantir Technologies. Could be pronouncing that name wrong. Y'all know I'm challenged when it comes to these names. I wasn't very good in spelling bees. Nobody picked me to be on the spelling bee team. I wasn't very good. So just understand if I'm pronouncing it wrong, sorry. Palantir, let me spell it for you. Palantir Technologies. Palantir, I think that's right. Ticker symbol, P as in Paul, L as in Larry, T as in Tom, R as in Richard. So PLTR is the ticker symbol. So go look it up online and you can pronounce it the way you pronounce it. So Palantir Technologies' current market cap of 62 billion. Now this company, people in the private mentorship group be talking about all the time. But again, it ain't on my radar because it ain't big boy blue chip. Now, maybe it's on its way to big boy blue chip, but if it's under 100 billion in cap, it's just starting out a little emerging, little baby, right? But let's take a look at it. This hyper growth stock that has a reasonable pathway to become a $1 trillion company over the next 16 years is all inspired data mining specialists. So they're an AI inspired data mining specialist, Palantir Technologies. All right, let's keep moving. And let's see, right now, current price is $28.07. That's the current price, $28.07. What makes Palantir so special is that its services can't be duplicated by any other business at scale. The company's AI-driven Gotham platform handles data collection and mission planning, among other tasks, for federal governments. Palantir typically lands 4 or 5 year government contracts that produce predictable sales and cash flow. But there's also a tangible ceiling to be expected with Gotham, since Palantir's management team won't allow certain entities to access its Gotham platforms, i.e., or e.g. China. Don't let China touch it. Yeah, okay. There's only so much of a growth runway for this time-tested operating segment. So you get what they're saying here. If they really want to go to a trill, they can't just be government contracts. At least that's the way I'm reading it. Y'all might read it differently, but that's kind of what I'm hearing. You can't just have just that revenue growth, right? The lion's share of Palantir's future growth is liable to come from its Foundry platform. So it has this Gotham platform that basically data collection for governments. I would imagine the United States government, but maybe others. But now they also have this future growth pathway, which is as a Foundry platform. This is its enterprise-facing service designed to help businesses better understand their data so they can streamline their operations. As of March 31st, the company had 427 commercial customers worldwide, which was up 53% from the prior year period. In other words, Foundry is still in its very early stages of expansion, but they believe that's the ticket to the 1 trillion. The 1 trillion, they believe that's the ticket, right? If Palantir can attract larger businesses to use Foundry, there's a real chance it could sustain a 20% or greater sales growth rate. There you go. So they got this bread and butter, which is the Gotham system. Again, guys, I've not been following this like a lot of people on my private mentorship club. Because again, if it ain't big boy blue chip, I probably ain't got time for it. I don't spend time on companies that don't fit that lens. But I'm assuming with these guys, like they said, they got that bread and butter, and that bread and butter is that those government contracts. What makes Palantir so special is that its services can't be duplicated by any other business at scale. The company's AI-driven Gotham platform handles data collection, right, and mission planning, among other tasks for federal governments. That's the bread and butter right now. But this new one that they can do for all businesses, all big boy businesses, they believe that's where they can pick up ground and really take this thing to $1 trillion market cap. So, hey, man, put them on the short list. Go do you a little more homework on them out there on the World Wide Web. Get yourself over here to the mentorship club and ask some of my folks over here in the mentorship club, because they love this company. Some of them do. They probably know way more about it than I do. I'm just giving you a little tidbit. I'm just giving you a little teaser. But put it on the short list. Sounds like a great company. I'm going to get over in the private mentorship club and ask me a few questions about it from some of my members, and I may even put it on the short list. I mean, hey, I might. Number 2, Airbnb, current market cap of $93 billion. This is the second company now. Second sub 100 with a B company that you can put on the short list. Airbnb, current market cap of $93 billion, a second fast-paced company with a sub 100 billion market cap that has a realistic shot at attaining a 1 trillion valuation. Here's the ticker symbol. A as in apple, B as in boy, N as in Nancy, B as in boy. So ABNB is the ticker. The travel industry has been ripe for disruption for decades, and Airbnb looks to have a variety of solutions. Its stay and host marketplace, that's what it's called, a stay and host marketplace, is directly taking on the traditional hotel industry, which is a monster. That's a monster industry, right? Been that way for hundreds of years, well, at least 100 years. So it's a massive undertaking when you're trying to change or disrupt an old industry. So Airbnb is coming in this thing, trying to disrupt this whole 100-year-old industry. Right? That's what Airbnb is doing. They're disrupting it. So you know every hotel, every lobby on Capitol Hill, they're trying to get their lobbyists to make sure Airbnb can't disrupt what they've established. Right? They don't want change. They don't want progress. Airbnb says, oh, hold on, we're going to have some change and we're going to have some progress. And they believe they can get to $1 trillion market cap. So let's see. So after handling roughly 140 million bookings in 2018, Airbnb is pacing more than 500 million nights and experiences booked in 2024, based on 132.6 million recorded in the first quarter. So they're coming. 140 million bookings in 2018, and now on pace to do over 500 million bookings by the end of 2024, based on, and then they got 132 million just in the first quarter. What's incredible to think about is that Airbnb's marketplace only features more than 5 million hosts, with somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 billion homes worldwide. There's room for massive expansion in the number of platform hosts in the coming years. So what they're telling you there is, right now they got about 5 million households, right? They're saying there's over 1 billion homes, 1 billion homes. They got about 5 million homes now with an M, but they're saying worldwide there's like 1 billion. So there's a massive runway, a massive expansion in the number of hosts that they can grow to catapult this revenue. However, Airbnb is about far more than just hotel disruption. Travel is an estimated 11.1 trillion industry as of 2024, and Airbnb can easily edge its way into other tourism channels to gain a sizable piece of the pie. In addition to its experiences segment, which works with local experts to lead travelers on adventures, and I've seen that before, they're into that business too now. Airbnb can, for example, partner with airlines, restaurants, theme parks to hang onto a greater percentage of what travelers spend. So not only do you get a place to stay, but they can also help you book the flight. They can help you take experiences. They can help you figure out restaurants. And if they partner with the right one, they can bundle all this stuff up as a complete package, as a complete stack. And if they get that right, guys, they go to $1 trillion and beyond, in my opinion. If they can stack that thing right, where they bundle all that stuff up, and a guy like me who's not a good planner, when it comes to traveling, I'm not a good planner. I don't like to plan. I hate to plan. I don't mind traveling. I just don't want to plan for it because you got to go to all these different spots. If I could go to an Airbnb and say, okay, Airbnb, here's where I want to go. I want you to put that thing all in a bundle for me. Hotel, I'm going to say wherever I stay, airfare, all my experiences, all my restaurants are rolled into this thing, paid for, everything's done. All I got to do is just show up to the airport. Matter of fact, get me to the airport too. Get me an Uber. Bundle it all up. They got a customer in me because I ain't have to do all that because I'm not very good at all. I hate doing all that. So if I can get me a bundle where all of that is done, a turnkey, travel, turnkey, I'll be a client. I'll be a client. So here we go. Keeping travelers within its ecosystem of products and services is the game changer. Golly, would that be a game changer for them? If they could bundle that thing like that, like I just gave y'all end-to-end bundle, that's a game changer, guys. I'm telling you. That's it. I don't even like staying in hotels, to be honest with you. But until I can figure out a bundle, that's where I do it because that's the easiest thing. That's what I know. That I don't know nothing about Airbnb. But if they could bundle that thing where they took it all off my plate, Listen, man, they got a customer for life in me. Keep travelers within its ecosystem of products and services is the game changer that could make Airbnb the travel industry's most valuable company. I agree with him on that. The bundle is the key, though. The bundle is the key. You can't just be, oh, you want to go over here and stay at an Airbnb? That can't be the business. The business is travel. That's what they got to turn it into. They got to turn it from, oh, I'm going to stay in these people's house for 3 days and I'm providing you with end-to-end travel. Everything's looped in. The best the best restaurants, the best adventures, whatever you want to do on the airfare, first class, coach, business, whatever you want to call it, we got you. And it's all in one price. One price. Boy, goodness gracious, with that, woo, that'd be a disruptor right there, guys. I would buy Airbnb stock. If that's the direction, if that's the game plan, I'll buy their stock, because I'm telling you, if they can do that in one price for all of that I just gave you, that's a game changer. Okay, number three company, C Limited. I don't know what that is, but let's check it out. C Limited, SEA Limited, C Limited, market cap 42 billion. The third supercharged growth stock that has the necessary catalyst to become a $1 trillion company is Singapore-based conglomerate C Limited. Ticker symbol, S as in Sam, E as in Edward. S as in Sam, E as in Edward is the ticker symbol. It's a Singapore-based conglomerate. The recipe that could fit C from a reasonable 42 billion valuation to a cool 1 trillion over the next 16 years. All three of its operating segments firing on all cylinders. So it has 3 operating segments to this company or this conglomerate. For the moment, its digital entertainment division, known as Garena. Garena. That's my pronunciation. It's probably wrong, but that's how I pronounce it. It's digital entertainment division known as Garena. Garena. I probably got that wrong. It's responsible for the lion's share of its adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Now they call that EBITDA. That's EBITDA, right? That's EBITDA. Basically, free cash flow, right? So here we go. Free Fire remains one of the world's most popular mobile games, with 8.2% of Garena's nearly 595 million quarterly active users paying to play its mobile games during the first quarter. So some kind of mobile game, right? Right? This company, this division, Garena, and it's responsible for the lion's share of the profit or the EBITDA, right? This Free Fire remains one of the world's most popular mobile games, with 8.2% of Garena's nearly 595 million quarterly active users paying to play its mobile games during the first quarter. This is considerably higher pay-to-play rate than the industry average. So that's good. People are paying to play this game. The second segment that can drive significant growth is what they call C-Money, the company's digital financial services operations. So they got this gaming thing out here. They got this digital financial services operation. Those are two parts of the conglomerate. The company's digital financial services operations, many of the Southeast Asian countries C offers its services in are chronically underbanked. So a lot of these places in Southeast Asia, these countries, are underbanked. That means they don't have access to adequate traditional banking services. That's what that means. When they say underbanked, that means they don't have access to these services in some of these countries in Southeast Asia. Some of these countries just don't have access to these basic banking services. So a company like C Money, that's what they call that part of the business. The whole conglomerate is called C Limited, but that part of the business, they call it C Money, kind of fills that void for those Southeast Asian countries that don't have access to traditional banking services, right? And again, guys, we live in America, and we even have a pretty big part of our population that's underbanked. And we're the #1 country in the world for financial services. We got banks on every corner. And we still have neighborhoods in our country where you won't see a bank anywhere near the neighborhood. They just don't put banks in those neighborhoods. So when you don't put a bank in someone's neighborhood where they have limited access to financial services, the basic financial services, they are called unbanked communities because banks don't put branches there. So when you don't have a branch presence, and I know a lot of us, well, why would you need a branch? I'm online. A lot of people don't do that in some of these communities, guys. Some of these communities don't even have really good internet. They lack the basic Wi-Fi capability. And this is in America, the greatest country in the world, the best financial system, the best economy, everything. We have pockets in our country where people are underbanked. That's why you see check cashing places. That's why you see these payday loan places, these tote the note, what do they call it? Tote the title places. These are underbanked communities that don't have access to banks. So people have to go to alternatives like check cashing places and all these other little, these predatory type lenders, because they don't have access to banks. And that's what these people right here do. They provide a financial service to people in Southeast Asia that are underbanked. Many of the Southeast Asian countries C offers its services in are chronically underbanked. Providing basic financial services in emerging markets can be C Money's ticket to rapid sales and profit growth. I believe that because there are a lot of parts of the world that are underbanked, and a lot of these emerging markets, they really are. They don't have access to the basic financial services that they need. And a company like C can come in and give them those services. And that's where they're saying that's where the growth is for this company. They can go from where they're at today to over $1 trillion in market cap if they can tap into those emerging markets. But the game changer of all segments is likely to be the e-commerce platform Shopee, a burgeoning middle class in Southeastern Asia and Brazil has welcomed Shopee with open arms after $10.3 billion in gross merchandise value traversed its site into 2018. C's e-commerce site is pacing $94.4 billion in GMV in 24 based on its first quarter results. And right now, their stock price, that's not their stock price. What is their stock price? Let me go back and see. Maybe they don't have a stock price because they're not. Well, they're traded somewhere. I don't know where their stock price is, but y'all got the ticker symbol, so y'all can go check them out, find them. But that's what they're doing. So that's the third company, C Limited. And then, guys, our fourth company we're going to talk about is going to be PayPal. PayPal Holdings. Right now, current price is about $60.27 for PayPal. So PayPal Holdings' current market cap is $63 billion. The fourth hyper-growth stock that can stand by, excuse me, throat had a little something in it. The fourth hyper-growth stock that can stand side by side with the likes of Nvidia, Apple, and Microsoft as trillion-dollar businesses is financial technology, and they call it fintech leader PayPal Holdings. Ticker symbol P as in Paul, Y as in Young, P as in Paul, L as in Larry. Although PayPal, and you guys remember, Elon Musk, he was one of the original founders of PayPal. And obviously they sold it, but he was one of the original founders of PayPal. Elon Musk, who's the CEO of Tesla. He was one of the original people who started PayPal back in the day. So although PayPal is contending with increasing competition in the digital payment space, a majority of its most important key performance indicators are moving in the right direction. For instance, total payment volume, or TPV, grew by 14% on a constant currency basis. Now that's excluding currency movements, to almost 404 billion in the March end quarter. No matter what's been thrown PayPal's way, payment transactions and TPV has consistently grown by a double-digit percentage. So very relevant company. PayPal is one of the pioneers in this payment processing thing, right? When you get outside of companies like Visa and MasterCard, right? So what's even more important for PayPal's future is its active accounts are becoming more engaged. At the end of 2020, the average active user had completed 40.9 payments over the trailing 12 month period. But as of the end of March 2024, this has risen to 60 payments over the trailing 12 months for active accounts. So they're telling you people who have accounts with PayPal in 2020 averaged about 41 transactions. Now they're telling you 4 years later, basically, they're up to 60 transactions or 60 payments. So it's growing, and they're starting to get more use out of their users or the accounts that use them, right? So that's a good trend. If engagement among active accounts continues to improve, PayPal's gross profit should keep rising. So although they're in a highly competitive space, the customers that they do have, if they can increase the level of transactions those existing customers do, and then still have some slight growth of new customers, they still can separate themselves, is what they're saying. That's basically what they're telling you. They still can separate themselves. They still can continue to grow, right? Even though it's ultra competitive, because you got all kind of people doing payments now, right? So that's the key. Don't overlook the role relatively new CEO Alex Chris can play either. Chris was formerly the head of Intuit's small business segment, so he knows a thing or two about innovation, cost control, and what small merchants want. Chris has tightened his company's belt in some areas, all while unveiling new advertising platform that should benefit from long-winded economic expansions. We're still in the very early innings of digital payment adoption and expansion, which bodes well for PayPal's future. So there you go, man. You got your four. You got your four emerging companies, man, under 100 billion with a B. That could be 1 trillion with a T over the next handful of years, up to 15 years, right? So the thing is what you got to ask yourself is, okay, Richard, I'm already doing what I'm doing. Do I see any value in these four companies, and should I add them to the portfolio? That's a decision you got to make. Now, for me personally, I like the Airbnb thing, and I like the Palantir thing. I'm not a big fan of PayPal. I'm not a big fan of PayPal. That doesn't mean you don't have to be a big fan of it. I'm just not. I'm not going to buy no PayPal because I'm just not a fan of the whole operation they do. I used PayPal a lot when I was in the watch flipping business. I just used them a lot when they were in the watch flipping business. And the thing I didn't like about PayPal was they were consumer focused. they really wasn't business focused for the merchant, for the person selling the item. So if someone comes back to them, one of their consumers come back and says, "Hey, PayPal, this thing didn't come out right. This thing did blah, blah, blah." PayPal immediately, at least in my experience, they immediately go to the customer side, right? Because they don't want chargebacks from Visa or MasterCard or American Express or whoever else the rest of these credit card companies are. They don't want chargebacks. So what they do is they'll side with the consumer. And you as the business or the seller, you got to prove your case to them, or they just go rip the money back out of your account, or won't give you access or put it on hold. So I ain't real, they just not my cup of tea because of that reason. I think they're more customer focused because I think they understand they don't want to get in the crosshairs with Visa, MasterCard, American Express, because guess what people gonna do? If they pay with PayPal, they're still using, in most cases, some people use their bank account, but a lot of people still use their credit card that they connect to PayPal to pay for stuff, right? And what PayPal don't want to have happen is they get in the crosshairs with that customer then goes to Visa or goes to MasterCard, whoever the bank or, they go to them and say, "Hey, I bought some on PayPal. PayPal won't remedy me. I want to file a claim." And then they charge that back against PayPal. So they don't want that. So a lot of times they just are not real friendly to the merchant. That's my opinion. Y'all might have a different opinion with them. I know my experience with them, that's how it was. Even though I didn't lose no money with them, I've had a couple run-ins with them. And the way they treated me as a seller, even though I ultimately prevailed, because I always had, proof of signing for the watch. I never delivered watches. I never shipped watches that were not next day and didn't have proof that you signed for it, right? So I always got out of the weeds because of that. But if I had not had that, and that customer said they didn't get that watch, and I didn't have that, they was gonna get that money back to that customer. And you just stuck like Chuck on the sales side. So I didn't like them, and for that reason, they won't be a stock that I'm gonna buy. But it don't mean you can't buy it. And then this other one, I don't really like investing in foreign companies. I don't. That doesn't mean you can't invest in this C Limited, but it ain't gonna be on my list. I just can't deal with the whole thing when most of your revenue is and all your stuff. You're not an American company, which they're not. They're Singapore based. Now they may do business in America, but they're Singapore based. So they're not truly an American company. And I ain't got nothing against companies that are not American companies. It's just not my thing. I'm gonna invest my money in. You can invest your money in companies that are based on the moon if you want to. That's fine. I'm just not gonna do it. If it ain't in America, if it ain't America based, I ain't buying it. It ain't going in my portfolio, right? Now, I understand Apple produces a lot of their product overseas, but Apple's an American company. Nvidia is an American company, right? All the Magnificent Seven companies are American companies. They may do business outside of America. They may manufacture their product outside of America, but they're American companies, right? So that's where I'm at. Two of them, they sound great, just not my cup of tea. But that Airbnb and that other one, that Palantir, them two, I'll watch. I really like Palantir. I just got to get a little more homework on it. And I told you, Airbnb, if they do that full stack, that end-to-end, one price for the whole trip, I think they take off like a rocket ship. So I got to pay attention to them and watch them as things unfold with them. But there you go, man. You got 4 emerging companies that could take you to the next level. You got to figure out if that's something you want to hang your hat on or not. Of course, for me in my portfolio, I'm gonna always concentrate on the big boy blue chips, right? And like I said, I got the ETFs, SPLG, right? I got that ETF. I got, and that's an S&P 500 ETF for you guys that are not familiar with SPLG. It's a S&P 500 tracking ETF. It tracks the S&P 500 index. And then I got FTEC, which is a technology. It's an information technology ETF, and it tracks the information technology sector. So ETFs track sectors or they track indexes. My SPLG tracks an index. FTEC tracks a sector. right? So that I don't have to be the expert. The fund is the expert. And then I got the Mag 7, right? Y'all know who those are, all big boy blue chips, right? You got Apple, Microsoft, Meta, right? You got Amazon, you got Alphabet, you got Nvidia, and you got Tesla. That's the Magnificent Seven. They also are in the S&P 500. And a couple of them are in, I believe, information technology, specifically Nvidia. So, and I know some people will ask me, well, golly, if you're buying them in the if they're in the S&P, why do you buy them individually? Because you got to understand the S&P is made up of 500 companies, right? And when you have 500 companies in an index like that, they assign a percentage of the index to these companies. So maybe in the S&P 500, and I don't know this for a fact, guys, so you can go out and do your own homework. But if you look at the S&P 500, maybe let's take a company like Nvidia. Maybe it represents 3% of the S&P 500. Maybe it represents 2%. Maybe they have, Nvidia represents 2%. So basically what I'm doing is when I put my money in the S&P 500, I'm not actually buying the company. I'm actually buying, when I buy my SPLG, S&P 500 ETF, I'm actually buying the fund. I'm buying a share in the fund. Now the fund has those companies in it, but I'm not necessarily just buying Nvidia. I'm buying the fund and whatever percentage the fund has allocated to Nvidia, right? So I don't get the full impact of Nvidia like I would when I go buy the individual stock. Why? Because when I buy the individual stock, I own 100% of Nvidia. When I buy the ETF, S&P 500 ETF, I might have 3% allocated to Nvidia, 2%, whatever it is, I don't know. But it's not like me buying the individual stock. So even though I buy S&P and it has the Mag 7 in it, I'm not getting 100% of the Mag. I'm not getting 100% of those companies. I'm getting whatever percentage SPLG has dedicated to those companies in the fund. What I want is all of Nvidia. So therefore, I go buy the individual stock. So I can get 100% of Nvidia. I can get 100% of Apple. I can get 100% of Microsoft through purchasing individual stocks. And what I get on this side is I get a little bit of it, but I get everything else in there. All 500 companies, I get a little slice of them through my investment in that S&P 500. And for me, that represents the broader stock market. So when I'm investing, I start with the broader stock market. And that's where I invest. And in everything I buy outside of the broader stock market, I judge it based on what the broader stock market is returning to me. So if SPLG and the S&P 500 index return 15% for the first 6 months of the year, all my other investments better be higher than that. Or why do I have them? I could just put all the money in the S&P 500 if you're not going to outperform it. I don't need to buy individual stocks in Apple or individual stocks in anything if you're not going to outperform 15%. I mean, just put my money in the S&P and just be done with it. So what I do is I look at the S&P, boom, here's 50% of my money goes there. The other 50% of my money has to outperform this, or there is no need to have these. That's my opinion. You guys may think differently about it. You buy your investments for whatever reason you buy them. But this is the way I judge my investments when I'm investing. I want everything outside of the S&P 500. You better be performing above the market. And that's what I call it. It has to perform above the market. Now, there can be a quarter. Maybe there's a quarter Apple is just not doing well. And I just decide to stay in it because I know when it does do well, it's going to catch up. That's just a decision I made. But if I look at a particular stock, an individual stock, and I think there's there's a business performance issue, then I just sell the stock and roll the money into something that has better performance. Because a lot of people have asked me, well, when do you get out of these stocks? I get out of them when I don't believe they're going to outperform the S&P 500. I get out of them and find something that's performing better than the S&P. That's me, right? You may have a different structure how you want to do it, but the way I do it is it has to outperform the S&P. If it's going to be an individual stock, it has to outperform the S&P. If it doesn't outperform the S&P, I'm not going to buy it. That's just the way it is. Because it makes no sense for me to put my money in one company and it's just not going to outperform when I can put it in the S&P and I got 500 companies that is outperforming collectively. Those 500 companies collectively are outperforming this individual company. So for me, that makes it easy to be able to know what to put money in and what not to put it in. When I really use my benchmark is my S&P 500 performance. That's my benchmark. You got to outperform that. If you're not outperforming the market, that's not good in my investment scenario. So that's what I got. I got SPLG, I got FTEC, I got the Mag 7, and I got Nvidia. Soon to be, like I've been telling some of my club members, I'm soon to be setting up 3.0, which will include Broadcom. It's going to include some Tesla. It's going to include some Visa. It's going to include some Chipotle. And again, guys, I'm not in a hurry on Chipotle. It just did a 50-to-1 split. It ain't finna run itself back up to what it was in 2 weeks. It's going to take Chipotle years to do that. Why? Because it's a little $90 billion company. It ain't like they fast growing, like they finna double themselves in the next 2 years. They're not. They're not. Over time, Chipotle will make some additional moves, but right now, they not finna move nowhere fast. So I ain't got to go buy them right now. I'm buying whatever I want to buy them because they're going to take them 10 years to do anything, probably. That's just my opinion, right? It's not like they got AI as a tailwind, like Nvidia does and all these other companies. They got AI pushing them. Chipotle ain't got no AI. They just Chipotle, right? Steady Eddie, over time, they're going to make you some money, but they're not finna quadruple your net worth in 2 years. That's not gonna happen. So I ain't in no hurry. I'm gonna put them in the portfolio once I create it. I've been really waiting on Broadcom to go 10-to-1, which will happen tomorrow. So when Broadcom opens up tomorrow, I'll look at it, see what happens. Maybe if I get a slide, I'll sneak in there. Maybe I'll wait a week just to work out some kinks, right? Because see, for me, I understand how these stocks work now with the AI. What's going to happen is all of these companies, once Nvidia comes out with his earnings, Nvidia is going to catapult all of them. That's what's going to carry them. That's their catalyst is Nvidia. So a company like Broadcom ain't got to worry about the stock right now. What will move the stock forward is if Nvidia has good second quarter earnings. If Nvidia comes out with great second quarter earnings, which I believe they will, it'll move the needle on all these companies, all these semis, all of them. Anything associated with AI will get a bump if Nvidia bumps. So am I in a hurry? Oh, golly, I got to run in there and buy it at 9:31 a.m.? No, because the stock ain't going to go nowhere. It needs a catalyst. And the catalyst is called Nvidia for most of these companies. Wherever Nvidia goes, the rest of this market is going to go when it comes to AI. I'm just telling you guys, if Nvidia fails, none of this AI stuff is going to work. It's not. It's just not going to work. So for me, Broadcom is on the short list and I'm going to get Broadcom. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not in a hurry to just jump all over it at the 10-to-1 like I was with Nvidia. See, I knew Nvidia was already, it was just fresh coming off of that first quarter numbers and I knew it would jump, which it did. It jumped to 140. The market rejected it. It slid back down and it's kind of been there ever since, you know, a little yo-yo action. But I do know the next catalyst is going to be when their second quarter come out, which I think is going to be a monster second quarter. Just by everything I've read and all the product they're moving with Blackwell, all the orders have been put in for Blackwell, I think it's going to be monster. 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 So I think that's when you'll see Broadcom jump on that, because you got to understand Nvidia is really right, they're the leader in that industry. So, all these companies benefit from Nvidia. All of them do. All of them will benefit. Right, all of them will benefit. So Broadcom tomorrow, I'll be watching that, and we'll take a look at that one tomorrow in the morning live stream, the 10:30 a.m. live stream tomorrow morning. We'll take a look at that one, and then the other one is going to be Palantir. I'm gonna take a closer look at that just to see if that one right there has some possibility. It sounds like it does. It sounds like it does, especially with that Foundry. It sounds like it does. And again, there are people on my platform, on the mentorship club platform, that appear to know a little bit more about it than I do. So I'll probably peek over there and see what their comments are, and then I'll just do a little bit more digging myself, and maybe I will throw some money at it and just kind of let it sit there and see what it does, and to watch it, right? But that's more, for me, that's more of a longer term, right? More of a longer term. Now, could it jump 100% a year? Could, but I don't see the catalyst to do that, because it looks like that Foundry program or part of the business is just starting to. Now, could that jump? Yeah. So that might make you some money a little bit quicker. But I think the government business is the government business. I don't think that's going to exponentially grow. I think they got to find other sources of business in order to couple with that to take them to a $1 trillion valuation. And that's really, for me, that's where the wealth is there. So that's the portfolio for me, guys. It's SPLG, FTEC, Mag 7, and right now, Nvidia. And 3.0 to come. So that's what I'm concentrating on. I did sell my Tesla stock last week before it cratered. So I did sell Tesla, but of course, Tesla is always a stock that I buy. Now, I don't know where Tesla closed at on Friday. Let's take a look. But unless they get that robo-taxi business, moving in the right direction. Yeah, closed at 248. So it did recover a little bit. It recovered a little bit, but it got all the way down to 233. Yeah, it got all the way down to 233 on Friday. And then it finally closed at 248. So it did make some ground. So we'll see. I'm not going to buy it at 248. Like I said, I think I sold at 258 or something like that. So I made my money, what I wanted to make. I was good. Money's back in the IRA, just sitting there ready to be deployed again. And until it's deployed, it's in an IRA. It's in the money market at the IRA, making 5.25, 527, I think, 5.27. So it's making a good little money while it sits there awaiting its next deployment, which will be Nvidia. So I got the position in Nvidia right now, 4,800 shares. I sold the Tesla position, moved that money back into the money market to sit there until I'm ready to buy more Nvidia. And the game plan on Nvidia is simply this for me, guys. Two things. If it falls back down to 120 or below before the end of this month, I'll just buy it. Now, if we get to the end of the month and it's still sitting at 125, 128, 130, 135, I'm gonna buy it anyways. Because I know once 12/31 hits and their second quarter is done, I know there will be things leaked in early August. People will start leaking information in early August about their second quarter results. And that thing, I believe, will start taking off in early August, just anticipating the big numbers at the end of August that they will report. So I think my game plan is pretty simple. Hey, you got 4,800 shares of this stuff right now, which is amazing. You're already up about $150, $150,000 in the stock already. The play for me is if it falls down to 120 in that ballpark, I'll purchase immediately, or I'll just wait, right? I'm already in the stock every day because I'm already 4,800 shares in. So there's no problem with me waiting a little bit. I'm not trying to time anything. I've already got 4,800 shares. I'm in there. I got a lot of shares right now. My game plan, since I've been doing this for a while, I know what I'm doing. I don't care about the stock price being 135 if I got to buy it at that. It doesn't matter to me. That don't matter to me, guys. I don't really care because I know where the stock is going. 135 is insignificant to me if that stock goes to $200 a share. If it goes to 250, 3, 4, 5, 6, $800 a share over the next 5 years, 135 is insignificant. It really is. That's why I keep telling people when they ask me about Nvidia, I always tell them it's trading at a bargain, in my opinion, guys, right now. I don't care what the price is. I don't care if it's 120, I don't care if it's 125, I don't care if it's 135, I don't care if it's 140. It's trading at a discounted price to me. Now, that doesn't mean that means that for you, but for me, it's trading in at a discounted price because I know, in my opinion, this is an $8,000 a share stock. And I don't care what people think about the valuation. Who cares what people think about the valuation? I'm all for anything can happen at any time. Anybody that's talking about the valuation, they can't control anything what happens with Nvidia other than their little opinion. That's all it is, an opinion. They don't know. How do they know? They said the same thing about Apple in 2010. Same thing. Apple was a $300 billion company in 2010, guys. Said the same thing about Apple. To get to $1 billion, they gotta do this. They can't do that. 14 years later, they're $3 trillion company. So y'all sit out there and listen to these people if you want to and miss your blessing. Go right ahead. I ain't gonna listen to them. I'm gonna do what I wanna do with my money. And if I win, awesome. If I don't win, fine. Pay the consequences, move on. It's life. No risk, no reward. Little risk, little reward. Big risk, big reward. You choose which path you want to take. That's okay with me. I choose to take the big risk for the big reward. And that's the portfolio, plain and simple. Every time I introduce you guys to new companies, I put them on my short list. Like I told y'all, out of those 4 companies I gave you, only 2 are going on the short list. The other 2, I can't do nothing with them. Not that they're not an opportunity for you, they're just not an opportunity in my portfolio. But Palantir and Airbnb are on the short list. They are on the short list. So, and remember yesterday, I think it was yesterday morning, I gave you Celsius Holdings. Remember that one? I gave you Celsius Holdings, I believe, yesterday morning. On the short list too, Celsius Holdings. That was the only company over the last 10 years that had a better total return than Nvidia. The only company. If you go out on the internet and do a research over the last 10 years, the companies with the top total return, you will see Celsius, which is a beverage company, right? It's a beverage company, but they're slanted towards more of the healthier side of the energy drink sector. And they just partnered with PepsiCo. I think 8.5% stake. PepsiCo bought an 8.5% stake in this company. And what does PepsiCo do for them? It gives them distribution. It gives them worldwide distribution. Now they're down a little bit this year because it takes a little while for that distribution to kick in, right? And while you're paying all this money to get this distribution, profits are down a little bit. But it's expected by 2025 when the integration of that distribution from PepsiCo opens up, it goes to the moon. So it's on the short list. So Celsius Holdings, Palantir, and Airbnb are on the short list. All are little baby companies that have the potential to be a monster. All baby companies right now, but that have potential to be monsters. So all I'm telling you, man, if you want to hitch your wagon, your financial wagon, to some little baby thoroughbreds. See, I got them full-grown thoroughbreds in I already hitched my wagon to them full-grown thoroughbreds. Mag 7, yeah, I'm hitched. My 2 ETFs, Mag 7, Nvidia, them full-grown thoroughbreds. But if you want some baby thoroughbreds, I like Celsius Holdings, I like Airbnb, and I like Palantir. Now, I got a little homework to do before I add them to the portfolio. I got a little homework to do, but I like them three baby thoroughbreds, a little under 100 billion thoroughbreds. I believe Celsius is under 100 billion. Let me double check that for you before I get trashed in the comment section. I told y'all this guy know what he's talking about. I told y'all. I like it the way people pick out one little thing I say wrong in the live stream and they just put a magnifying glass on it. Like, I told y'all this guy don't know what he did. He don't even know how to pronounce Nvidia. Oh, goodness gracious, y'all tickle me, boy. I have such a good little time laughing at them comments, boy. Those jokers on the comment section. Oh, yeah. See, Celsius is only a $13 billion company. Little baby. About a $14 billion company. So, yeah. So, I'm good, man. I think Celsius, I think it's in a good position to buy because I think that PepsiCo relationship, see, this is what you got to hang your hat on with Celsius, guys. That PepsiCo 8.5% stake gives them worldwide distribution. And that's how you take this thing to the moon when you have worldwide distribution. See, the thing is, PepsiCo carries a big stick. It will get distribution into places that Celsius alone couldn't get into because it's PepsiCo. So for me, I'm thinking, shoot, man, this might be a rocket ship 5 years from now. But if I get in this thing and just be disciplined and keep dripping on it, buy me some dollar cost average, just dripping on it, who knows, man, in 10 years what this thing could be, 5 years, who knows? See, my big boy stuff is what I'm hanging my hat on 3 to 5, especially in the video. 3 to 5, I feel like quadruple the net worth. But it's all these little baby companies. We'll see. Right? I want to be doing this stock market thing and evolving, right? I want to make sure I want to catch the next Nvidia. I want to catch the next Apple. I want to catch the next Microsoft. But I don't want to only focus on these little emerging companies, little baby companies. I want to always be in the big boys, right? Who already proven. But I also want to catch some of these little companies before they hit the real, the real spurt. So that's sort of the 3 on the short list out of the baby companies: Celsius, Palantir, and Airbnb for the baby companies. And then we go to the middle tier companies. I'm looking at Broadcom, right? Broadcom, that's one. Visa is one. Oh, one more baby company is going to be Chipotle, because they're about 90 billion. They're still sub 100, right? So baby companies, guys, are the sub 100 companies, sub 100 billion market cap. So if you hear me say baby companies, you'll know I mean sub 100 billion market cap. Chipotle falls into the baby company, even though it has a crazy growth spurt, still a baby company in my opinion, because it's not over 100 billion in market cap. So right now in the middle bracket, I got Broadcom. Who else I got in there? Visa, Tesla, because all those companies are way over 100 billion, but they're under 1 trillion. So they're in the middle. And then the only thing I got in the big boy bracket is over 1 trillion, right? And that's the Mag 7. That's all I got, Mag 7. I don't care nothing about no other companies other than the Mag 7 at that top, because they're the only ones over a billion. I'm sorry, trillion, over 1 trillion with a T. They're the only ones over 1 trillion with a T of the Mag 7, right? All these other companies ain't there. So that's where I'm at, man, with the portfolio. That's what I'm gonna be adding. That's 3.0 I'm gonna be putting together because I've gotten some comments from the private mentorship club about 3.0, and I keep telling them, hey, I'm putting it together. I ain't in no hurry because I know most of these companies are gonna take a little bit more time to develop. It ain't no hurry to buy the stock because the stock ain't changing that much. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like they're putting the rocket fuel in the rocket ship and it's gonna take off next week. That ain't gonna happen. So they're gonna be a minute. So it don't matter when I buy it because it ain't gonna fluctuate that much. You see what I'm saying? What is gonna fluctuate and what is having a rocket ship fuel put into the rocket ship is Nvidia. It is the Mag 7. Those companies got, they got you know, rocket ship fuel being put into the rocket ship. So those companies I really concentrate on a lot, and I buy a lot of. And these little baby ones, their stock price ain't finna do nothing no time soon. And even the middle ones, even the under 1 trillion companies that I'm investing in, their stock price ain't fluctuating that much right now. So perhaps when interest rates start coming down, we'll see a little bit more. But right now, that's kind of where we're at. So appreciate y'all, man. It's 12 o'clock, so I got to get out of here. Do me a big favor. If you want to take advantage of any of these companies that I just mentioned, get yourself down in the description box and click on that Moomoo link. Open up your Moomoo account today. The good folks at Moomoo are going to give you up to 15 free stocks when you open a new Moomoo brokerage account. You put $100 in a brokerage account when you initially open it, you qualify for 5 free stocks. If you put $1,000 in your Moomoo brokerage account when you initially open it, you qualify for 15 free stocks. All publicly traded companies, per stock, they can be worth $2 up to $2,000 per stock. One of my club members sent me a direct message a day or two ago and said she had $2,000 worth of free stock. Now, that don't mean you get that. That don't mean I get that. It's randomly picked. But goodness gracious, she got her a $2,000 net worth gain by just executing and opening her account and putting money in it. Now she gets to take the money that she put in the account and build more wealth by buying more paper assets. Hey guys, get down in the description box and try it out. It's my primary brokerage app that I use. It's good enough for me. It could be good enough for you, but you got to get down there and execute and try it out. So get down in the description box and click on that Moomoo link today. Go get that free stock, go get that free money, and then send me an email through my website, www.richardfain.net. Now that email address is the second link down in the description box. Send me an email. Let me know you've opened your Moomoo account. Let me know you've started the funding process. You're getting ready to put money in it. You're funding it, and you want to learn how to use the brokerage app so that you can get ready next week to start executing, whether you decide to buy any of these 4 baby emerging companies, or you decide to buy Broadcom, or you decide to buy the big boy blue chip going to the moon that I'm buying. Again, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not telling you to go buy any of these companies. You got to make a big adult grown-up decision to buy them. But if you're asking me my opinion based on my knowledge of buying these companies, I think it gives me the opportunity to really do big things with my net worth. But that's just my opinion. You may think different. And you can buy anything else you want to buy, right? So consider that, guys. Send me that email. Let me know you've opened the Moomoo account, and I'm going to send you those tutorial videos. Plus, I'm going to send you my blueprints that I just kind of outlined to you. I'll send those to you in video form if you want to get a little bit more information about those as well. Consider joining the private mentorship club through the website. Just click the membership button, click the join button, depending upon what device you're using to access the website. Join, guys. Become part of the fastest growing financial community on Patreon. One of the fastest growing financial communities on Patreon. Join. Wrap yourself, cloak yourself in these 700 plus people over there that are headed the same place you're headed, which is financial freedom, right? Be a part of our family. Get yourself out of the matrix. The people in the matrix who control the matrix, they have no vested interest in you building wealth. They want you dependent on them through a paycheck for the rest of your life. They do not want you to become independent where your assets take care of you, because you don't need them anymore. They need you to need them. They need you to want to get paid a check. That way they control you. If you don't want to be controlled by the 1% anymore, you need to move yourself over where your assets create money for you, and that's how you create independence. Thank you so much, guys. Lock it in with a thumbs up before you get out of here. I may be back for a double dose later this evening, and I may not, just depending on how I'm feeling once I go through the rest of my day. But I definitely will be back tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time to give y'all more information about what's getting ready to happen for the week in the market and help try to prepare you so you can be in a better position to build wealth. Again, lock it in with a thumbs up before you get out of here. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Peace.